Today's meeting in London is one of the most crucial of this entire war, and we have to break it down because originally this was only supposed to be a meeting between Zelensky and the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. But then we saw the French president and then the Chancellor of Germany say, you know what, we also need to be there. And then today, the four of them met at 10 Downing Street. This all comes as Europe is trying so hard to unify, as the Trump administration is still kind of favoring a pro-Russian peace plan. Right after the meeting, Zelensky did an interview saying that guaranteeing real security for Ukraine requires shared effort, and that is exactly what this meeting was about. Europe aligning its own stance before the United States tries to finalize some kind of deal and push something onto Ukraine that is not something that should be there. Now, here's the issue. European leaders privately feel that they're being sidelined by Donald Trump and the United States. As you may know, the original 28-point plan pretty much forgot about Europe and essentially put all these restrictions onto Ukraine, including its own troop size. That plan, by the way, was revised multiple times after talking to Ukraine, then Russia, then Ukraine again, now to one that's about 20 items. But the sensitive topics are still on there. Security guarantees and territory. Russia refuses to budge on any of them, and also the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And there's something really important that the German chancellor actually said in a little speech. Not to quote him here, but he pretty much said that he's being more skeptical of the details coming out of Washington, and then later added that Ukraine's fate is also Europe's fate. That's just another reason why they need to show unity, because if the United States does pressure Ukraine into signing something that is not good for them, that means it's really bad for Europe. And since we know that that last meeting in Russia didn't really go well, it could be that the United States tries to pressure Ukraine again. We know this because Donald Trump kind of said the other day that Zelensky was the one slowing things down, saying that he didn't even read the proposal, which we know is not true. Zelensky made sure to make it clear that Trump's current vision for ending the war is not one that matches Ukraine's. That aside, the game plan here is this, so that Ukraine and Europe can put together yet another plan, hopefully by the end of tomorrow, and then that plan can go to Washington, D.C., and then we'll see how the Trump administration says or does to it. In the meanwhile, Zelensky is going to Brussels to meet with the NATO Secretary General and the EU Commission President, and then funding. That's another thing that's happening, because ultimately we still have those frozen Russian assets that are kind of up for grabs, in which 7 countries right now are saying, hey, we would give this to Ukraine as a loan, of course get paid back later, but there are some countries kind of holding back, such as Hungary. The bottom line is this. Europe wants a just peace, and right now, Washington is pushing for a fast peace, and a fast peace does not mean a lasting peace. And if there is no lasting peace, that means Ukraine's future is in jeopardy, and so is Europe's. I will, of course, keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.